This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Welcome to Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, insights from the people that book the movies. I'm Cody, and with me is Kyle, our media manager.
Hello.
And Ken, a film buyer.
Hello.
I'm also a film buyer. Anyways, moving on.
You can introduce yourself.
I said I'm Cody.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Introducing Cody, the most exhausted film buyer in the history of film buying.
Exhausted, people. I thought, oh yay, when theaters open up, it'll be great. But it is so, booking repertory titles, movies 30 years old, is just so exhausting. There's so many. It's just the booking is so different. On a given week, I might book one or two new movies per complex. And now it's like every screen, the slate is being wiped and I have to book something new. So an 8-screen theater might have 8 different bookings each week, but you're not just booking that week's dates. You're trying to get ahead of the curve because it'll become daunting. And so I'm booking that week's and the weeks ahead and any series that may be 3 or 4 weeks. So sometimes a complex might have like 15 or 20 bookings in it. It's just so much.
We'll just wait for the day when it's only Unhinged that you play, and then you just have to only settle with that one.
I keep thinking it'll get easier. Like if I keep booking ahead, some week I will catch up and they will be booked. But inevitably, each week, some new location opens up and then series bookings start again. And it's just like, I can't ever, if I hadn't booked ahead, I would be so underwater right now.
Each week I've been seeing the life draining further and further from you too.
And I never thought that booking Jurassic Park would just like destroy me on the inside.
This was supposed to save us, but at what cost?
What cost, everybody?
What cost mentally?
Can we have another shutdown so I can get some rest?
Not a big one, just for like a week.
Just
a week or two.
I don't know.
Just a Wednesday through Friday. Just a nice little, everybody just takes... at the beginning of this, I thought we could be like Spain, where we just shut down for April every year.
Siestas?
Yeah, you just shut down for a month.
Yeah.
They just schedule it so everybody can get their groceries, so nobody has to be open.
We can travel and...
Yeah, you just shut it down for a month. I thought this could be the beginning of that. Wrong.
Wrong. Never. No more shutdowns. I just want new product to come back so badly because somehow... booking new movies will mean less work for me.
Well, it's coming soon, but at the same time, they keep moving stuff around. But they
Just
promise it's coming soon.
Just wait for Friday. Friday after 4:00.
I feel like that is the worst time to give out bad news. I mean, that's like the best time to give out bad news because no one's paying attention and then they don't realize it until the Monday. But man, I come to dread that Friday afternoon, like, oh, we've made a decision to move something.
Next? Yeah.
So yeah, I am so mentally drained and exhausted from all of this. And then there's payment issues are coming up and it's just, such a mess.
This podcast isn't for anyone else. For anyone else. It's just for us to all be able to vent.
Yeah.
It's really good for counseling.
It is. It is. Although I'm so exhausted, I don't even know. Like I'm barely being able to vent right now.
I know we saw it. We saw it out of your intro.
Yeah.
And I'm a film buyer.
So is Ken. Whatever.
I was questioning my purpose in life, like my career path.
I'm a film buyer currently, but we'll see after this weekend.
She's 2 weeks away from taking the long walk at the end of Judge Dredd. Just armed with a good book and a good pair of boots, and that's it. Good luck.
Maybe it's just this week is just a little bit harder because it's the most locations we've had open up. And I am going to be gone next week. Ken and I are going on a trip, and we're going to be off the grid. We're going to go float the river, do some fishing. It's going to be good. I'll very much need to unplug. But because of that, because I'm not here to book stuff 10 days in advance, I have to book 2 weeks of legit, like bookings this week. And then any other additional bookings like goes on this. So it's just 2 weeks worth of bookings just this week, and is killing me because half of it is rounding up everybody to give me what their bookings are. Be like, I'm going to be gone. If you don't give me what the bookings are today, you're not getting them.
Yeah, you won't get anything.
Yeah.
Basically.
So it's just been a lot more work, but
it'll be worth it. Vacation's coming for you guys.
Vacation is coming next week.
Vacation is coming. New movies are coming. It's all getting, the tide is subsiding.
Maybe. Are we cresting?
Close your eyes. In your brain, the ocean breeze is wafting over you.
You mean the light mountain air.
The tide has subsided.
Oh.
Can I be
the beach is warm on your toes.
Ooh, warm sand.
All right. Well, we're back. Podcast mode.
I'm still exhausted.
Take it up a notch.
I need a pina colada and a nap.
In that order?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, that order doesn't matter.
So I guess we can talk about a lot of movement on the release schedule. There hadn't been any release schedule for the last couple of weeks, so we haven't really talked about it. But we now have some movement on it. Some dates are being set. Some dates are being moved. Let's get into it. The first big one was Tenet moved, unfortunately.
Excuse me? Unhinged was the big one.
No, we're getting into the big one, guys.
Just because you saw your screener doesn't mean anyone else knows.
Shout out to
it.
Solstice.
So Tenet moved from July 17th to July 31st. And thank God Christopher Nolan is on the theater side because apparently the studio wanted to push it back a year. And he was like, no, it has to come out in July. So it literally comes out the last day of July. But thank God it comes out in July. And we've got something really good to look forward to.
He gets it.
Yeah. So I was sad Tenet moved, but we're still got it in July. And then in its place, they decided to re-release Inception on its 10th anniversary. It came out July 16th, 2010. And as part of the 10th anniversary, they're going to have some footage of Tenet on it and maybe some superhero footage. So we'll see. But it's going to have some extra bonuses. So I've been booking lots of those everywhere.
That will probably convince quite a few people to go.
Yeah, and it'll be really good marketing to get people excited for Tenet when it does open on July 31st now.
Although a double feature of Tenet and Inception would have been great, but this still works.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
So with Warner Brothers, Wonder Woman moved back from August to October 2nd.
That actually really was a bummer because it's not so much that it's in August and all that. It's just that it was the momentum. It was like you opened Tenet, and then you're supposed to open Mulan, and then a couple weeks later, then you open Wonder Woman, and it just is about the momentum of getting people out. And now we've got Unhinged, and then a couple weeks, maybe Mulan. We'll see if that sticks. Then Tenet, and then there's a little bit more stuff, but not that big a title that will really get people to come out. And you probably won't see that until September with Quiet Place 2 now.
The only blessing in disguise I could think of is maybe like initially when Mulan and Tenet are coming out, not that many people are going to the theater, but once they hear like, hey, everything's okay, no one's getting sick, like there's more trust at this point, then maybe like we'll just be seeing more and more people each week for Mulan and Tenet to where it lasts until September. That's the only silver lining I got out of that.
I'm really hoping definitely Mulan and Tenet last for a while, because it's not like you don't need a big opening gross and then it to go away. It's actually the legs carrying it consistently each week that builds momentum over time. That's much better for you.
In this case we want to see an increase of people coming in.
It'll be one of the few times where we see increases from opening weeks possibly.
For sure. I really hope so. But Wonder Woman in October isn't bad. October has been known in the past, if we get a really good film in it, it can be huge. It's a good month. And so I'm hoping that this year having Wonder Woman in October will really kick off this fall season and maybe really stack that third quarter into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that with Joker, A Star is Born, even Venom. I don't like Venom, but
I remember Gravity.
Business.
Gravity was, I think, an October film. It was one of the first ones that really carried the month.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween was last year.
That's right, Halloween too.
That was the biggest gross ever biggest opening weekend for October ever. So there's room in October to do these things, especially at the beginning.
Right, especially if you have a good title, and Wonder Woman will be a great title for that month.
Yeah.
And then Warner's moved Godzilla versus Kong out of November into May of 2021. So it's going to be a summer picture, and that's probably where it would play much better.
A year from the original release date,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Unhinged was originally going to come out July 1st, but with Tenet moving, it decided to move back to July 10th, which, to be honest with you, a Friday opening is just so much easier to schedule and book. And with some theaters being weekends only right now, due to the virus, I just think it was better to open it on a Friday. So
and if you don't have a blockbuster or a very patriotic movie, there's no reason to open it the week of July 4th.
Right.
Open it on a Friday or don't open it.
Yeah, July 4th is really hit or miss for a lot of theaters. You got people usually in pre-COVID times, you would have a lot of competition that week with rodeos or just community events, the fireworks, barbecues. Weather plays a huge role in it. If it's really, really nice out, people are out doing stuff because they got the time off. So for theaters, it's not always the best weekend. But if you've got rainy weather or a virus that cancels all of the public events,
can't relate.
then it could be a really good weekend for you. But I think this is still smart on Solstice to move it out of that July 4th.
Yeah, and we've got 3 that are moving up in the batting order, which is always exciting to get a date moved up right now.
Right. So James Bond, No Time to Die moved from the day before Thanksgiving to November 20th, the weekend before.
So what, 5 days?
Yeah, which is great. I mean, you get the full weekend and then you still get Thanksgiving weekend. And and then I saw some commentary where people are saying, "Oh, James Bond will maybe lose out on having the highest, pre-Thanksgiving opening, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, hey, I don't care about records on first day openings. I want it to last.
We need big grosses. We need big weekends.
Yeah.
No Wednesday gross has ever meant a big weekend gross.
No.
You've got to get the weekends in. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Or your bread and butter.
So I think that was smart on United Artists' table to move No Time to Die, the James Bond movie, up to the weekend before Thanksgiving. Greenland from STX moved out of August and onto July 31st, so that Tenet weekend. So we'll have
just counting on audiences.
Yeah,
Tenet brings people in, and
they
you've got
might
want to
go see Greenland.
Yep, your
second best action movie coming out.
So
we'll see how Mulan.
I mean, I don't want to assume, but if I'm gonna take a guess here,
Gerard Butler versus a comet.
Yeah.
Then Bill and Ted Face the Music moved from August 21st to August 14th. They moved into that Wonder Woman weekend.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. And I saw the trailer for that. We talked about it last week. It's
It's
just good all around. I'm actually kind of excited for that one. I have not booked a Bill and Ted movie yet as part of my repertory bookings. Then
maybe when it gets
you
closer.
just threw that out there. Now you're going to be booking these
I know.
all
I
over
just
the place.
jinxed myself.
What did you do?
Then Sony kind of dropped Broken Hearts Gallery on us last week, just out of the blue, and I don't know. Do they still have a trailer for it?
Nope.
They still don't have a trailer.
They have a rating, but not a trailer.
What is it rated?
PG-13.
Okay, 13 rom-com
situation. Teen love stuff that requires PG-13.
Okay.
Demi Lovato produced.
I thought it was Selena Gomez.
Or Selena Gomez, one of those.
One of the Disney Channel stars.
One of those.
One of the
Miley
ladies
Cyrus,
produced
I'm not
it,
sure.
but that just producing it doesn't mean that you're going to draw people in from that, but that's fine. They moved from July 10th to July 17th, and took that old Tenet spot. That's fine. It just gives them more time to get a trailer and get people to market. So I'm fine.
I was just thinking that.
Yes,
yeah, we should
with that
we should probably cut a trailer at some point, right?
Something to play.
We've had it for 10 days now.
They're leaning back on the couch. Nah.
We've had information on it for 10 days and still not a trailer.
Right.
I mean, just give us the first 3 minutes of the movie. Give us something to work off of.
Just a scene. And then the final one we have is Saint Maud is for sure going to release on July 17th, but it's a little crazy given that with COVID and having theaters at 50% capacity, the studio is asking for a 4-week minimum. And I had
Same-
in the back of
yeah.
my mind thought that might be a possibility with some of the bigger titles like Mulan. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Disney didn't ask for 4 weeks.
Something crazy.
Yes, because of the fact that it's 50% capacity in these theaters, and they're not able to get the same volume of people in at a time. But I don't know. It makes me be like, just I don't like seeing that as a sales policy by any means, even in
A24 can ask
COVID.
for it. What's next?
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope this is not a new normal. I hope A24 really rethinks this. I mean, if it's working, the theater will keep it. You don't need to require it. But if it's not working, then punishing the theater by making them keep it. I mean, if 0 people have come in and I've earned $0, like using that showtime is not helping anybody. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
this movie's already going to be a hard sell. Like, I mean, it could be really good. That's probably why they're asking for it, because it is probably really good. But I don't know, for a horror movie from A24, usually they can do some good business, but at the same time, they get a lot of hit and miss reception.
It's going to be upscale. It's going to be certain markets, and those markets are usually in urban areas, and they're not open right now.
Yeah.
So you can't look to the little towns that don't play that kind of product normally and don't have the audience for it and be like, you have to have it for 4 weeks, and take advantage of the situation that there's been nothing new out there. Like, at a certain point, that's not really helping theaters at all.
No, it's not even helping them.
Huh.
It doesn't make sense on either side.
No, but it kind of makes me think that they've put it out there, and if they're willing to do that, because we haven't seen the policies from the bigger guys yet on like Mulan or Tenet or Wonder Woman or these things moving forward. We don't know what their stuff is, or their minimums are going to be, minimum play weeks are going to be yet.
Yeah. Another release date we have is Relic is going to be a drive-in exclusive for July 3rd.
Who's putting out Relic?
IFC.
IFC.
So I talked to the rep at IFC. Shout out to Jasper. And they're going to be doing, he said it's the first drive-in exclusive in over 50 years.
For IFC or just in
general?
In the whole industry?
In the industry that IFC knows of. So the first drive-in exclusive.
Now that's a record.
Hard tops can get it starting on July 10th, which is also the VOD date. But it is interesting to try out a new model.
Yeah.
To try something. Everybody's looking for anything they can get, and why not push it to drive-ins and see if this is a real model for IFC slate, which are R-rated, adult, generally horror movies.
Yeah.
That could work for a drive-in crowd.
It could work for a drive-in crowd. You also have to be careful. It depends on the area the drive-in's in. I know that I book drive-ins in some really conservative areas, and we just don't play those type of movies on the screen because you can't shield the screen from, say, like a highway and stuff. And so you just got to be careful with some of that kind of rated R gruesome stuff being on the screen.
Some kid on the highway might not see something that they weren't meant to see.
Yeah. Especially if it's got boobies in it. Or
especially
sex
if it's
stuff.
got boobies in it.
I remember we accidentally played 50 Shades of Grey at a drive-in, and it got a lot of negative. We were like, what were we thinking? And none of us caught it. We're just like, this is going to be a big movie. Let's play it.
Just a fun night at the drive-in.
So
whatever goes on the cars.
Yeah, so many boobies from the highway. Got so many negative calls. It was bad. I learned my lesson. Everybody learned our lesson.
Hey, it was worth a shot for some sort of theme for the drive-in, but
oh my gosh.
in retrospect, maybe not quite a good idea.
Oh, speaking of good ideas, we've got 2 big chains coming online.
Yeah. Regal's coming back July 10th, probably for Unhinged. And Cinemark was already slated to come back 7/17, I think, for Tenet, but they're missing Unhinged now. And
you get them a week early for Mulan to get the operations up and going. So as much as we are proponents of independent theaters, we're glad to have more theaters opening.
Yep.
It kind of gives like a sure sign of things kind of being safe and back to normal.
Right.
It kind of gives people thinking like, okay, if these big guys are open, then these little guys surely are.
Well, I think it
following
just
suit.
reinforces with the studios as well to keep their release dates
Yeah.
and to move stuff up because, you know, the independents account for something like 20% of the screen count nationwide. And so it is really hard to want to release your movies on just 20% of available screens. So having these guys back on just hopefully will reinforce to the studios that it's okay to keep your release dates where they're at or move them up.
Oh,
Then what else we got, guys? What other announcements?
Well, Warner Bros. Announced that they're gonna do kind of a free convention, virtual convention for DC, all things DC Comics. So pretty much they're just gonna be hosting a convention on the internet where it's like for free, like anyone can join up on it and they can see news for like upcoming DC movies, comics, games. And apparently, like, we will be getting some news for upcoming movies of theirs, like Wonder Woman and the Snyder Cut. And
But the Snyder Cut's not coming to theaters.
no, but I'm just giving examples. Maybe they might also announce stuff for Aquaman 2. I don't know. Maybe
Ooh.
Henry Cavill announces he's back as Superman. I don't know. So
Aquaman 2?
oh, somebody perked up.
I had it perked up
that's
a
the most
little.
awake I've seen you all week.
Oh, Jason Momoa back? What?
The warm sand on your toes.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa approaches.
Oh,
So
does he have a pina colada?
I mean, he
happy.
could.
Okay, good. Or
Insert-
Bahama Mama
Insert
or
pina
Mai
colada
Tai.
joke.
I have so
Just-
many luscious drinks to have. Just
She
little-
can't wait, folks. She can't wait.
As long as he has the drink.
Yeah, so I don't know. If people are interested in DC Comics or
That sounds kind of fun.
yeah, exactly. It could just be a fun event that's for free. You get to hear from actors and directors and creators of sorts. And yeah, I don't know. Something to take advantage of. Maybe something to promote for upcoming DC content. If you can figure it out, I guess.
Oh, nice. Well, what else we got? Oscar stuff. We actually have Oscar news. This is weird.
I don't know
Not
why.
Oscar
Like they're
race
always
news, but
they're always changing their rules, so it's not
Right.
too surprising to get Oscar news, at least to me.
so I guess the awards are moving from from February 2021 to April 2021.
Nope, sorry. Yes, that is correct.
End of April, yep.
End of April. That's gonna be weird. Like, cause they're just always historically like end of January or end of February now, and now they're in April. Is that just to give it more time for films to be released for eligibility requirements?
Yeah, they extended the eligibility requirements from January of this year all the way to February 28th, 2021. So basically when the awards were supposed to happen. We'll see if that date gets changed again or if it stays. But as of now, for this award ceremony and these times, like they're just figuring that's the best option for their show.
Yeah. Then they will also enable a strict 10 picture nominee policy so that we will always get 10 picture nominees.
Yeah, that seems to be what's happening.
Because there were a few years we got 8 and we probably could have had 10.
This last year, yeah, for sure. I don't know. It's hit and miss for me on this idea. Like there's some years where it's so crowded, it makes sense to have 10, but then there's other years like, I don't know, last year, the year before where, you know, there's only like a handful, like maybe 8 at most, like really good movies that are worthy of it. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm not really a big fan of it, but it's not going into effect until the year 2022 when the following Oscars are. So for now, it's still in that weird range of like 8 to 10
I
of
don't
their
think
choosing.
having more nominees is that much of an issue because they get to use it for their marketing purposes.
Sure.
So maybe market the films a little bit better, but because there only can be one winner. So
I love the idea of getting the oddball sneaked in there.
yeah.
Like when it was
and you know that's gonna happen.
when it was like Dewey Cox, Walk Hard, had a bunch of nominations.
Razzie ones.
No, there were a few Oscar nominations that were involved in that movie. I'm almost positive.
I can look it up for you.
I'm
if you
almost
like.
positive.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well,
That's my hot take of the day.
someone's gonna check and be like,
I don't-
"You're wrong."
Dewey
That's fine.
Cox, the
Yeah, I'm almost positive there were at least a couple.
What? I thought that was a comedy where he's like,
It was.
"Look away, Dewey,"
I
and
know.
they're doing the
no,
drugs.
I know. Believe me, it was not a good movie, but it was fun to see it on the list.
I don't think it made an Oscar nomination. A Razzie, probably.
Sure.
Do you mean
No,
Walk the Line?
No.
That
I
one
don't.
probably.
No, I mean the oddball stupid one.
Oh, with John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe that is true. I believe it did
What?
get. Well, actually, I'm seeing only Golden Globes.
Okay. I was gonna say.
I'll keep looking, but I'm pretty sure it's Golden Globes, but not Oscars.
I
But
like-
it actually did get quite a bit of praise.
I like
at
the
that
Golden
time.
Globes better anyway.
Stop it.
Okay. Okay, Ken.
Okay, Ken.
Screen Actors Guild, yes, please.
But on top of that, the Oscars are also going to work on creating representation and inclusion standards. They haven't announced any specifics on it, but they're just going to be trying to come up with some things. Hopefully, they're rules that make sense. You know, with the Oscars, sometimes they come up with weird ideas that aren't
Most
good.
popular film.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully, hopefully it makes sense for the awards, but also for the world that we're in. Because I think it's time.
Right.
Let's change things up, Oscars. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for news. Should we get to the best part of the podcast?
Sure, we can. Did you want to start, Cody, on
No, I
what
wanna-
movies you've seen?
No, I want to go with you first. I did watch one of my movies this week.
That's fair, though. I've seen how this
Yeah.
week has gone, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
And we moved the podcast up a day to accommodate some of us being gone on Friday, which is when we normally record our podcasts. And I missed a whole extra night. So
And we're going to be gone next week, so Kyle's going to do a one-man show next week, I think.
one-man show. We're just going to skip next week.
Because I don't know. I think as soon as people are like, "Oh, it's only Kyle," no, I'm good. I'm good.
No, that's not
Hi,
why.
I'm Kyle.
Hi.
I remember that being my name. Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
I'm just going to talk about the movies I actually wanted to watch this week, not what I was forced to
I
watch.
purged on so many great movies.
Yeah.
So how was
Three Musketeers.
Cody's definitive version
I
of the Three
just
Musketeers?
like that movie so much. What did you love about it?
I loved
The
that
part where it went black and ended, that was my favorite part.
I loved when I told my girlfriend that I had to see this movie, and she goes, "Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's not good."
What?
Has that happened before with any of these?
No, she doesn't see quite as many movies as I do, but for sure she saw that one. She was like, "It's not good."
So
It is not
what
good.
was the best part though? Who was the best character?
I
It had
will,
an all-star cast, so who was the best character?
I will say Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce her name?
Jovovich?
Jovovich.
Yeah, there's an extra syllable in
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that's the worst. Anyway, she was actually the best part, but I think because
As Milady.
as Milady, because she's so cheesy throughout the whole
Yeah.
thing. 'Cause I don't know if that's just the way she acts in all of her movies, or if she just knew what she was in and she just embraced it. But she was easily like just the most entertaining part.
My favorite is Orlando Bloom for that same reason.
I
Because
could
he
not-
really plays it up and
Oh, he plays it up like Johnny Depp does for the rest of the Pirates movies. That's the impression, which makes sense because this was in 2011, so he was still working with him
Right.
on like so many of the sequels. So he was probably like, "Hey, that works, so I'll just do that." But no, I don't think this movie is not very good. This movie is not. It's not very good at all.
fun.
So to recap, it's not very good. It's not very good.
It is so
that's
fun
as-
and awesome.
That's as dark as Kyle can get. He can't even say it's bad if it's bad.
It's not bad.
It's just not very good.
It's not very good. It's not.
I'm
I
a
was
little disappointed they didn't make a sequel because I wanted to know what happened with the
I was expecting like a total train wreck,
Zeppelins.
which luckily it was not that, but I could easily see why there was no sequel made because there was a point where I forgot that this movie was about the Three Musketeers. Like all of a sudden there's just 15 minutes of not a single musketeer and I'm like, what movie is this about? And then they come in and they're like, I don't even remember, like they're going after a necklace for some reason and I'm like, oh, it's the Three Musketeers, it's the guys, that's what I'm here for. And yeah, I just would
They're
always
going
forget
after
what the movie's
necklace
about.
so that the queen doesn't get
Okay,
framed for having an affair, which she was not having.
Can we go on to yours
Cardinal,
now?
so
We've
evil.
spent more time on this movie than
Than
the
it
filming
deserves.
crew did.
Fine. I watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
A
And
classic.
it was actually good. It was very well scripted. It was very well acted. I thought casted super well. Like all the characters were interesting in their own right. It was sad. I hated the nurse. She was awful. She was like lord over this little dominion, and she ruled with an iron fist, but like in a really subtle way. Like, but she was not going to have her authority be questioned, and so it was sad the way she pushed the mental patients, because I don't know, it's just always hard to watch mentally ill people to begin with. It was also weird because given it was weird to watch it in the context of the BLM protests that we're having right now and stuff, because all of the orderly characters were black males, and then being ruled over by this like white woman that was definitely a Karen.
Oh, she's 100%. She's like the worst Karen.
She's like the worst of the Karens. Yeah. And so that was a weird context to watch it in. And then my other part that I was really taken aback was, but that I laughed at, and I don't think it was supposed to be funny, is every time Jack Nicholson referred to a female anatomy as a beaver.
Oh.
I was like, he's calling it a beaver. I've heard that before, but it was just really funny to hear it in a movie, like so serious, like that's what we're calling it. And then he had this whole line about, because he went to prison for statutory rape of having sex with like a 15-year-old girl. And he's just like, when that red young beaver is in your face. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. It's weird he's saying this.
I can only imagine how you felt by that. Just so many
like,
different emotions.
I thought the most uncomfortable part, and possibly the funniest part of that movie, is when he gets suffocated at the very end.
Oh, yeah. So through a series of
Unintentionally
events,
funny.
He, Jack Nicholson's character is this guy that gets transferred from prison to be evaluated, and he is obviously faking mental illness because he just wants an easy street out of prison. Like he thinks that this going here would be like a piece of cake for his last 60 days. He doesn't realize that being transferred, they can hold him indefinitely. So at the beginning, he fakes these mental illness and acts crazy. And then he realizes that if by doing that, he's stuck there forever. And then he's like, I'm going to escape. And then they try to come up with these plans to escape. But then before they escape, he decides to bribe the night orderly, and they have a party and bring some girls in and get all the mental patients drunk and stuff. And then in the next morning, the horrible Nurse Ratched comes back, and she just humiliates the youngest stuttering boy, Billy, to the point where he commits suicide. And then that throws McMurphy, Jack Nicholson's character, over the edge, and he like chokes her out. And I'm like, yeah, get her. Get her.
Kill her.
Kill her. I wanted her to so bad. But after that, they lobotomize him, which is in itself crazy. Like, it's just crazy that was ever a thing that you did to people. Like, just tore out pieces of their brain to make them just vegetables, basically. So at the end, when the chief, the Native American guy, is going to finally like get out of there because McMurphy's back, he realizes he's been lobotomized, and he's just nothing. There's nothing there anymore, and so he suffocates him with a pillow. And then his face after he pulls the pillow off, because they show his face. It's like open mouth. His eyes are rolled back of his head, but open. It looks hilarious, but
it's one of
so inappropriate to laugh at.
Probably not meant to be.
It's
hilarious.
one of the best unintentionally funny parts of any movie.
But then it also makes you really uncomfortable, because as Chief is suffocating McMurphy, it's like Native American music playing over, like he's calling upon his ancestors or something to give him strength to do this. It was really weird.
Yeah.
All these films are time capsules, but I think even then,
Yeah.
some people had to have been
Like,
made
really?
uncomfortable by parts of this.
You couldn't have just either had silence or had orchestra music. You needed
A different type of score.
You needed the flute and
Ode to Joy playing over it.
yeah, something. The Native American drums and the flute playing.
Yeah, I could see why that might be a bit problematic, or at least
It's just weird to have your modern context. You know, you always
Yeah.
got to remember that these are, like Ken said, time capsules.
for sure.
In it.
You've seen Some Like It Hot and Singing in the Rain. We're going to delve really dark before we get to the end of this list.
I know. That wasn't as dark as I thought it was gonna be, but still.
All right, time for
uncomfortable.
Apocalypse Now.
No.
Well, she still has to see Saving Private Ryan.
I do.
So
Saving Private Ryan.
that'll be the next one.
Yeah, I'll try to get that tonight, but you'll never know until I have a lot of time.
Until
Not next
2
week,
weeks
but the
from
week
now.
after.
yeah, so I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking on the first page of this list for something positive and promising.
I gotta look for something fun for Kyle.
Fun, quote unquote.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is it going to be a silly romantic comedy? A movie that's inappropriate to ask an employee to watch?
We're not asking as employees, but as friends.
Is it going to be another movie that's just not good?
All of
I
that
have
is
a
yes.
feeling that he's gonna think all these movies are just not good, but they are.
There was a few that you asked me like weeks ago where I was like, oh, those are actually movies I've heard are good and want to check out. But you've been giving me the Three Musketeers, the Seventh Warrior. What was that movie called?
the 13th
Warrior.
The Seventh Warrior is much better.
Just skip 8 through 12.
Pick a number between 1 and 20, Kyle.
18.
18. So 2 up from the bottom.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Cut this part.
7, 9.
No, this is good material. Are you kidding me?
18 is Super Troopers.
Okay, I'll do that
Because
one.
you've not seen that one, right?
One
I
and-
have not seen that one.
1 and 2 to cleanse your palate.
Who wants a mustache ride? I got, when Super Troopers 2 came out, one of the promotion things I got were these yellow sunglasses that have the fake mustache on it. But on the side it said, the mustache rides again. That's so inappropriate. Sorry.
It's okay. It's the podcast. It's chill. It's
Yeah.
not the
Can you
business
still see the
space.
picture on silverscreeninsider.com?
Why you can, yes. Until we do our website revamp and I get something more professional, you can see me in those yellow sunglasses.
And
You can
that
wear-
part's for
in the
free,
About
right?
Us section.
That part's for free?
That part is for free.
But if you want the detailed film news, it's a small subscription fee?
Yep, $25 a month.
Yes.
All right.
So thank you everyone for listening to this. Oh, you got something?
I
Cody?
gotta find out what mine is
Oh,
besides
right,
Saving
sorry.
Private Ryan.
Oh, so we put another war movie on there, Kyle?
Well, let Kyle pick because I actually enjoyed his last pick.
Oh, I was
I don't want you to pick.
I was gonna say Saving Private Ryan will be fine because
No,
I know.
my punishment is.
Oh,
Right, at
What
least
am I?
you'll-
What's my punishment scene for not seeing Saving Private Ryan?
I don't know. The
Kyle's about ready to announce it.
I'm just saying, like, since I've seen how hellish the bookings have been lately, I think that should be punishment enough. I'll be nice, which is probably not shocking, but
I will take it this time. But if you were to pick a movie and say I had time, I won't. I'll be on the river. But say I had time, what should I look forward to?
Are we only doing page 1? I forget.
No, you
No.
do whatever you
Do
want.
page 2 or 3.
Torture away.
How about American Graffiti?
Oh, good one. Harrison Ford. George Lucas.
Yeah.
Okay, I've had to book that.
An American classic.
Yeah, that
I
one's
do
good.
like me some
I think you'll like
Harrison
that one.
Ford. It's got the cars in it,
It's
right?
not Harrison Ford. It's like Harrison Ford learning how to act
yeah,
Harrison
it's
Ford.
pre-Harrison Ford.
I thought he was really young. Like,
No, it's just like, hey, you're super handsome. You want to be in a movie?
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's not. You're not going to see signs of Indiana Jones or
That's
Han
fine.
Solo in there.
But I think you will like that one.
okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Do we have anything else?
No.
Oh, do you want us to keep going? Or are you ready to crash out?
I would like to crash.
You
I
want that
think.
pina colada?
Oh my gosh, yes, yes. Although I think I might want to nap more.
Nap first, then pina colada.
Yeah,
In the business space.
right. I'm gonna get. We might do some adjusting here in the office, and our podcast studio might move out of my office into another part, And if and when it does, I'm going to get a couch in here.
So that way we can take naps during the podcast.
Yeah. Everybody gets a nap.
We can wake Cody up for her hot takes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then on that note, thank you everyone for listening to this episode. You can find all of our other episodes on all podcast platforms, as well as at silverscreeninsider.com, where if you're a theater owner or manager needing marketing information or marketing materials for all past and future movies, you can find them all on our site.
So can we find American Graffiti materials on?
Maybe.
He
I'd
sounds
have to
very
check.
confident.
It's universal.
Pretty sure. Yes, I
Okay.
think so. Pretty sure.
right.
We'll double check that.
Okay. Just a check-in.
By
We'll
the
see.
time you get this, he will have it.
I'll if we don't, I'll make sure Universal takes care of that. They only gave me so much.
Was Super Troopers Fox?
The second one was. I have no idea if the first one was.
I think that's now Disney. Just
Yeah.
thinking about that.
Oh, there's lots of fun ones that are now Disney, which
Yeah.
is hilarious.
But
They
and
keep-
they'll never show that.
No.
They'll never reveal those.
Die
cards.
Hard.
Yeah, they keep coming up in some of these repertory bookings. And we're like, no, that's Fox, and that's now Disney, and they are not going to let you do it. So,
Which is dumb, but whatever.
yeah.
All right. Well, maybe there's no podcast next week.
No
Hopefully we'll come
podcast.
back soon though.
We'll come back stronger, well rested, maybe with a tan from the river, hopefully with a trophy fish, or at least embellished stories of the fish.
Tune in next week for Kyle's one-man show. One man, one mic.
More like
Yeah.
one man train wreck. That's let's be real. That's what it would be.
Kyle sits quietly in front of a microphone for 45 minutes.
Right.
I usually wait for the others to say something. This is not going that well.
Come back to find effigy or decoys in our places.
We can
There's a
get
Cody
cardboard
made
cutouts. Just our faces
Just
on chairs.
sitting in the chair and go, so Cody, what do you think about? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I turned mad for the 1 week you were gone.
Kyle goes feral.
Yeah.
So possibly tune in for that, I guess.
Yeah. Have a
Bye,
good
everybody.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.